Good day, my name is Dr. Douglas Street, and what we're going to be looking on this afternoon is the bones, and specifically osteoporosis or weak bones. Now, weak bones is very important to understand because if your bones are weak, because the bones support the soft structures of the body, you will be at risk for having fractures. And these fractures can be quite dangerous and even life-threatening. So understanding the factors behind this is very important. Now, the bones actually start becoming weak from very early in life. And oftentimes the process is accelerated, especially in women, when they pass through menopause. But the process actually would have started much earlier, and the factors which contribute to it are oftentimes not known to very many. Sometimes fractures may actually develop very, very easily. A person may actually be getting up off of the bed, for example, and can fracture bone, not even a fall. And this can happen in certain situations. Sometimes it may occur in the spine, for example, where there are no symptoms whatsoever, and this can lead to a person getting shorter. So you may notice that some persons, when they get older, they may hunch over. Now, some of these fractures can develop in places that can be life-threatening, as I mentioned before, and this can cause very heavy bleeding. One of the places that this can happen is actually in the pelvis, and there are very important structures and very large blood vessels in the pelvis. So if fractures develop in these places, then blood vessels can be damaged and it can cause bleeding. Sometimes you may have cases where a fracture may put a person in the hospital, especially the elderly, and because they are lying down on their backs for such a long time, then clots may develop in their legs, which can even move to the lungs and which lead to what we call a pulmonary embolism, which can actually kill. Pneumonias can develop in these persons as well. So osteoporosis is a very important condition to understand because the complications, which include fractures, as I mentioned before, can lead to the person's death. Now, there are a lot of factors that can lead to osteoporosis. There are some medications that can cause it. For example, the steroids. Steroids are used in what we call autoimmune conditions like lupus. It can be used in asthma, in person with severe asthma. So, and also the medications that cut acidity in the stomach, like the antacids, like medication like ranitidine and like omeprazole. These medications can cause a reduction in the absorption of calcium from the foods that we eat, and can lead to osteoporosis. There are some forms of cancer that can cause osteoporosis as well. For example, multiple myeloma can cause it, and some cancers may spread to the bones and can cause weakening, and this can lead to fractures as well. So there are a lot of different factors that can lead to it. Another one is inactivity. There are persons who are very ill and in bed for a long time, and this can also lead to weakening of the bones. Now, there are many persons who think that the way to prevent weakness of the bones is by getting calcium supplementation. This has not been shown to be true, and as logical as it might sound, it doesn't really work. Sometimes some person may add vitamin D to this calcium supplementation, and this gives a bit more success. But one of the most important ways to actually strengthen the bones is by having antioxidants, either in supplements or in your foods. Antioxidants reduce inflammation inside the body, and this has been found to have a very important role in strengthening the bones. What I've actually found is that supplements which contain antioxidants cause strengthened bones, and these might include things like prunes and fruits and vegetables. These actually reduce inflammation inside the body. inflammation actually blocks the body from absorbing calcium. So if you have high inflammation in your body, it can cause the bones to get weak. Now, inflammation increases in your body as you get older, especially after a woman passes through menopause. And this is one of the reasons why women tend to have an increased risk of osteoporosis once they pass through menopause. The increased inflammation also causes other problems like increased risk of heart disease and other chronic illnesses. So you find that osteoporosis may develop in these persons as a result of that. Now, inflammation can come from a number of different sources, which we're not going to be going into right now. But it's very important when treating osteoporosis to ensure that inflammation is actually reduced. One of the biggest myths about strengthening the bones is the use of milk. There are a lot of people who believe that milk strengthens the bones. This is not true. And you may wonder why this is. Isn't milk a good source of calcium? The answer is yes. But the problem with milk is that the proteins that are in milk actually cause an increase in the inflammation inside the body. And as we mentioned earlier, inflammation blocks the bones from absorbing calcium. Inflammation affects the hormones that facilitate the storage of calcium into bones. So when you have milk, it actually increases inflammation inside the body. And because of that, the bones do not absorb the calcium very well. As a matter of fact, milk has been found to weaken the bones, not strengthen. Yes, milk weakens the bones. And so therefore, you have to understand that if you want to strengthen the bones, milk is something that should actually be avoided, not encouraged. So where should we get our calcium from? You can get calcium from other sources. There are a lot of green leaf vegetables that will be a good source of calcium, such as kale. Sour products are usually very good sources of inflammation. And the good thing about these foods is that they actually reduce the inflammation inside the body and actually allow the bones to absorb the calcium. So it's very, very important to understand that even though milk is it has a good amount of calcium in it, cow's milk is made for cows. It's not made for human beings. So if you want to have strong bones, avoid milk and have antioxidants. Antioxidants reduce inflammation and can encourage strengthening of the bones. Try and avoid the milk. So it's very important to understand about what it takes to strengthen your bones. Diet is very important. You must know the things that you have to avoid and the things to have. And this will lead to not just healthier bones, but reduced risk of other problems. Thank you very much.